We have just watched episode 4, which is technically the first release of Star Wars A New Hope, together with my lovely host, Renee Ariel.
Hey!
We both discovered that we hadn't watched Star Wars.
Any of them.
So,
Ever. It was time. I'd give it a solid 7.5. I really liked it. It had good effects for its day, for sure. I finally understand why everyone says that. I was like, okay, a movie in the 70s, sure. Like, I love having that element of surprise, and I did not think that I would be surprised in this film because, yeah, I know Darth Vader is Luke's father. That's all I need to know. And I was like, nah, there's more.
We decided that it was gonna be
hashtag casual deaths. Casual kills, that's what it was.
So there's so many, like, people who die that are really important characters in this film. And they die so casually.
So casually, it was nothing.
Like, Obi-Wan's like, whoom, gone. And it was like, okay.
And then, like, the whole planet blew up. People were on that.
Alderaan.
Casual kills.
Alderaan, hashtag casual kills. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give episode 4, A New Hope, an 8.
Ooh.
I think my expectations were low because I think everyone is obsessed with this movie, and usually when people like something, I will rage against it. So I was like, how can one movie please so many people? I really thought the effects were gonna suck as well.
Yeah.
And first of all, the lighting was amazing.
Very Apple Store.
And yeah, I found Luke and Han attractive, which surprised me. A little bit. Actually, it surprised me greatly.
Yeah, oh my gosh, when Han Solo put on the Stormtrooper suit, we were like, oh. Yeah, he looked good.
It was a little long, but I think that is just our millennial, like, YouTube personality these days where we don't have patience for long films anymore.
No patience.
So I don't want to blame that on the film necessarily, just on my, like, really crappy attention span. I'm interested to see actually what happens in the next film because Leia looked totally badass at the end.
Yeah, that updo, that half up, half down do.
I'm into
it. Princess Leia for sure. I love how badass she is. I thought she was like super cool. One thing that really surprised me, and I know it surprised you as well, is that the Death Star blew up.
Yeah.
I loved that because I did not see that coming. Both of us thought a little part of it was going to explode and like stop something, but we thought that the Death Star was going to be like in the rest of the series, or at least in 4, 5, and 6. So I loved that. And lastly, I loved Darth Vader. I was like real excited about Darth Vader. Like if we're being real, I was pretty excited. Whenever he'd come out, I was like, that's my man. He's so tall.
So there's your boy. Tall, emotionally distant,
yes.
Mysterious, and powerful.
Sold. Text me.
Highlights for me were, this is gonna sound weird. I really liked the colorful explosions.
I feel you.
Like as they were like shooting on the Death Star and those little canals and stuff, the explosions weren't just your everyday explosions. They were almost like Technicolor, unicorn-colored explosions. I was pleasantly surprised to become attached to 3CPO and R2. I liked them way more than I thought I would because I kind of remember seeing like clips of them as a kid and being like, cool. Now I totally get the appeal. And like at the end when we see R2-D2 all cleaned up and like wobbling back from being cleaned up, he looks like he's on crutches almost at the very end of A New Hope, and he like joins everyone at the throne with Princess Leia, and they're like, R2, you made it, and I'm like, oh, he's wobbling. He's like the Tim Gunn of Star Wars. And I'm into it.
I completely agree with the length of the film. I found it to be long. I also did not love the one bit of special effects when they're in their spaceships and you're seeing them like move and all the stars. That I couldn't get into. So whenever they were like flying in space, I was like, let's just wait till they land. You know? That was one thing I wasn't a huge fan of. What about you?
I was really expecting all of the effects to suck because the 70s. But what was really cool is most of the effects were practical miniatures. They weren't CGI. And so maybe that's why it did look so good. So maybe modern movies need to do practical effects more.
Agreed.
I did not like the trash snake. I was more annoyed than scared. Like I was annoyed for Luke. Like I was like, no, ew, gross, no, ew, gross, no, ew, gross. Like just like the
don't
whole,
touch me.
Like the whole like 10 minutes, I was just like, no. the biggest low point for me was that everyone in that entire film is white. Everyone. Oh, and no women, just Princess Leia.
Just Princess Leia! Well, as far as we know, you did have the theory about...
I have a theory that all the stormtroopers are secretly like Amazon warrior women, which I like.
So we'll just keep telling ourselves
they're supposed to, because all the stormtroopers are tall, because remember Leia says you're a little short for a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
So maybe they're all just really tall women, and maybe that's where all the women goes, that they're just stormtroopers. I like that theory.
I like that theory too. So many women in this film.
Yeah, many women.
Just the fact that the Death Star did blow up and is gone. And then I thought that Luke finds out Darth Vader's his father in the first episode with Darth Vader. I didn't know.
No.
Because I'm like waiting for that. I'm like, I already know.
I think that's like the end. I think that's like the end of like the classic Star Wars. Like I think if it's episodes 4, 5, and 6, I think he finds out in 6.
Also, I thought that Darth Vader's breathing was the but then we think it's like a what do we think it is?
I think because she had a really good point. She said he's talking while he's breathing. Like it would be like
and then he'd be talking like this as this is going on, and that doesn't make sense.
It was like 2 different audio tracks, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can you be talking rapidly while you're breathing slowly? It doesn't work. So it must be like an air ventilator to like let in space air and convert it into oxygen while he's just breathing at his own pace. It must be like a machine on his suit and not his lungs making that noise.
Well, like maybe make it a little quieter. At least you always know when he's around.
I was seriously waiting for somebody at that table to just be like, can you shut him up?
Right? Like, we get it.
Bro,
you're here.
Stop mouth breathing. It's rude.
I'm excited to see where it goes next because now I honestly don't know what the storyline will be. I thought all the storylines involved like the Death Star and obviously Darth Vader. But like, where's Darth Vader going to live now?
True. Where's he gonna live? How's he gonna like practice his voodoo?
How's he gonna blow up planets? We don't know.
Why are we so concerned?
Darth Vader, we want you to succeed.
Jedis are actually extremely rare in A New Hope, which I thought they were like plentiful. So that's interesting. I really enjoyed the tiny little baby kangaroo T-Rexes that scurried around in the beginning.
Oh, you did like those.
And I also really enjoyed Han's kind of like leggings. But I want to see Chewbacca like go aggro on somebody.
I want to see it happen.
Yeah, because right now he just looks kind of goofy. I had some times where I was like feeling like, oh, Chewie, good job. Then I had the times where I was like,
this guy.
So I don't know. Jury's still out on Chewie. I guess all that's left to do is watch episode 5.
You ready for this?
Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Make sure to check out Renee Ariel at Renee Ariel on Instagram, and you can follow me at Amber Plaster on Instagram. And on here, if you want to, you can do anything you want. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. And start. We have been chastised by friends and family. We have been disowned by family members and kicked in the street for not watching Star Wars.
It happens.
And I get it. I get it now. I understand, and I don't blame any of you.
It's like, yeah, I know Darth Vader.
Vader was like, whoom, dead. I think the entire Star Wars series could be renamed Casual Kills. Not that I know what I'm talking about, but people die and it's like, oh well.
Yeah, on to the next.
I mean, maybe that's what war is, so maybe make it stop. Okay.
You got it, girl.
I'm gonna edit it out. It's fine. Oh, somebody kill it with fire. I just hate like water snakes. They're the worst. Watch me be completely wrong. It's like revealed in Rogue One or some shit, and we're like, I don't know. I don't know when it comes out. Guys, if you guys are watching this on the replay, why wouldn't you? Because it's going on YouTube.
He just goes, what is it?
We already knew. We definitely just want to get it right so that the internet doesn't come to my home and burn us on.
We want you to think that we know what we're doing. You know what I'm saying?
This is gonna be rough. I barely have a grasp on the Force. Barely.
Yeah, same.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, is that Star Wars?